Yo, is everything working all right? I haven't streamed in a while, so I got errors when I launched. So I hope everything works. Looks fine. All right, cheers. Why is this being stupid? I'll figure this out later. I haven't used this stuff. I haven't used OBS for like 10 months. So I closed something now trying to figure out how to reopen it again. So stupid. Fuck it. This will be fine for today. You signed for a new project? Yeah, I haven't really done any personal work for like in 2025, so I thought I'd start a new project because people keep asking about a new project as well, like seeing the full process, so we might as well. Yeah, how's it going, Garrison? Yeah, 2025 was pretty busy for me. So stream disappeared for a while. But I want to get back into it again properly. Yeah, I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk recently, so I feel in the mood for making something like this for sure. How's everyone been? Hopefully see more streams in 2026. Yeah, I do want to be like consistent with it again. Last year, I I wanted to prioritize, I guess, my mental in focusing on Blizzard. So that's all good now. So we can chill out a bit. Yeah, happy 2026. So everything is working on both Twitch and YouTube. I noticed my Twitch title is different, but whatever. I'll figure that out later. But yeah, this is going to be consistent again. At least on Sunday. Sunday will be consistent. The YouTube thumbnail was like a blender cube. Fuck, I haven't touched this stuff in ages. Whatever. How's it at Blizzard? Blizzard's great. I love Blizzard. It's probably the most fun I've had in my career so far. Everyone there is super cool. They look after me as well, which is cool. Okay, let's start blocking this thing out. Can't wait for movies versus game industry questions. Oh yeah, I mean it's a it's an interesting topic. It's definitely very different. Is this why is this so sensitive? I actually haven't opened my own Maya for so long that it feels very different. Why is this so sensitive? Maybe it's just meant to be this way. Back to making high class meals and streaming 3D. Yeah, oh yeah, back to 3D again. I mean, back to cooking again. God, it's been so long since I've set up a camera like this. I thought, oh, there you go. Okay. Will you stream the whole 3D process? Yeah. I'm not gonna do any of this off stream. I don't really have much desire to do personal work, to be honest. Like, I don't really feel I need to. I'd rather do other stuff. So yeah, probably not gonna touch this off stream. So the whole process will be here. Why is this so sensitive? Weird. Maybe that's how it always is? Maybe. But yeah, how's everyone else been? How's everyone's 2025? It's been a while. I would say it was a decent year with its ups and downs. I feel that. Yeah, with like the news, like every fucking day, it's like, what crazy shit's happening now? Look who's back. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you too. How have I been? I've been good. Just busy in 2025. You're now a dad? Hell yeah, congrats. Yo, how's it going, LaClory? That YF19 has changed a lot. Yeah, I know the title was. I can't remember how to change the title. I'll figure that out later. Let's turn this grid off. It's kind of annoying me. Fix wheels different heights? No, never mind. Yo, Crimson, how's it going, man? Fuck, I completely just forgot about the train until I saw you. I'll try the train at some point. That'd be fun. How's your friend slot game going? It's slopping quite well. It's a cool idea, man. The concept of your game. Is this? Oh, this is alright. Wait, why is there two of these? This doesn't feel right. Whatever. Usually when I block stuff out, I start like super loose and just pull shit around. Like I'm not too precious with it. Oh, the perspective's different. Are we back in Mario? And last time you've been relearning Blender for your new role, Blizzard? Oh, I don't use Blender or Blizzard. I tried it for a bit, but I don't really need to. I don't know, I kind of think I'm going to give up on the idea of Blender. I just don't really need it. Like, I can just do the same thing in Maya, so I just don't really care about Blender. The form feels very different to what I'm doing, but once I have things down, I'll go back and sort it out. Oh fuck, I moved the wrong camera. Ooh, let's bring that back. Don't let the whole coders hear that? Oh, I don't think I could care less anymore. I don't know. I used to care about the internet's opinion on CG, but I'm pretty indifferent at this point. Like, people can post awful topology. I'm like, cool, do your thing. Last time I talked about the learn Houdini. I did dive into Houdini a bit. And I was taking like learning Houdini pretty seriously, but I didn't really need it anymore, so I stopped. You working in games or cinematics? I'm on cinematics, but there can be overlap between game and cinematics. But I'm on the cinematic team, yes. The team is so good. Like, seriously, everyone there is like the best artists I've ever met. They're fucking crazy. Like, especially like the character artists are crazy. You're on the fence about learning Blender. Not sure if I want to invest the time. I've been using Maya for quite some time at work. I think there's nothing wrong with like experimenting with Blender. I don't think there's a need to, if that makes sense. Fuck, I just pressed the Blender hotkey. I just don't think there's a need to, if that makes sense. But you know, who knows? Maybe you will like Blender and it might end up being a useful tool for you. So why not give it a go? For me personally, I just don't see a need. Where'd the other one go? Did I have two of them? Oh, there it is. It's funny how shit blocking always looks. Blocking always looks so terrible. But it's alright. You just need to stick with it. So you have working in games? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's been a nice change of pace. It's very different to movies, which is cool. It's just, yeah, the thought process behind games is very fluid compared to movies. Movies, it's like, here's the concept, shut up, just make it. Like, that's it. There's no like iteration or anything, which is obviously very different with games. What is this thing here? Oh. But yeah, so far I've been pretty happy with Blizzard. I think my perspective is actually pretty different. It is pretty different. You work with some people that came from Blizzard Cinematics team. They're really good. Oh, really? Sick. Yeah, they're pretty good. I was up at the office actually for a week about a month ago. So I got to meet the team in person, and that was really cool. I enjoyed that. It was cool putting like faces to names. Am I full-time remote? I am full-time remote. They did express a desire for me to relocate at some point, but I was like, we'll see. We'll see what 2028 looks like. But for now, I'm full-time remote, yeah. All right, this perspective is crazy different. We got to start adjusting. Okay, maybe E70. Where's the concept from? His name is in the concept image. What's his name? Walter Kim. That's his name. It's just something that Gujon found and posted when I asked for like concept recommendations. There was another really cool car, like bunch of cars that were posted in the Discord as well. But like I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk recently, so I'm in more the mood to do this sort of aesthetic. This is very off. Yeah, for the blocking, you just got to get shit down and then start moving around. I wouldn't be too precious with the blocking. You just want something to start moving the camera around with. We keep it pretty loose for a while. Did I meet up the team in Blizzard? Oh yeah, I met up the team in Blizzard. That was cool. Let me put that there for now. The concept of fully 2D? I think so. This is the only image I found. So there's a good chance that the image doesn't actually line up in 2D, which is very normal. So we'll see how that goes. But at least we can start having a look at it. So I'm keeping it very, very rough, just while I pull shapes around. I'm not very precious in the blocking phase. But I'm kind of like placing, oh shit, this is got an interior. Let me just do this. Better than a napkin concept? Oh yeah, totally. I know, napkin concepts can be fun. Receiving something that's so like simple that you can like make it your own. That's always pretty fun actually. I quite like that. I mean, this perspective is not too bad actually. But yeah, I keep it super low poly and just use creasing to kind of like dictate where forms might be. Are you going to come back to a Warhammer model? No, that's the one that's probably done, I think. I don't think I'll come back to that one. Plus, I did work on Astartes as well, so I've had my fill. I've had my fill of 40k for a bit. What is this form here? I might be jumping the gun a bit, lining stuff up, but whatever. No more guys in armor for a while? Yeah. You know, since I've been playing a lot of Cyberpunk recently, I'm in the mood to make a car anyway. I was thinking of doing one of like the vehicles from Cyberpunk, but it's like it's all resolved already. There's no point really. And I don't think people would really get much out of seeing me resolve something that's already resolved. So something like this is probably a bit better, I think. I'm gonna save this actually. Let me see. Give me 2 secs. Just gonna turn it off for a sec. Alright, we're back. How you prevent select back faces while using brush selection? I don't know. What's the default? This is just my default, that it just doesn't go behind. I haven't changed that for a very long time, so I don't know what the button are. Does anyone know the answer to that question? My default just doesn't select back faces. So this is here actually. But yeah, I'm not being super precious with my camera lineup at the moment because I'm just like planting positions that I will line up later. Because I can see this is very different here. But at least if I match this one, I can like rotate the camera off a bit and we can start trying to match it a bit better. Default is camera based selection only. Yeah, I've never changed anything, so I assumed that was true. Am I replaying it? Cyberpunk? Oh, I've played through Cyberpunk like 4 times. I've got like 400 hours in that game. That game is like my God, what's it called? What's a game you always come like a comfort sort of game? Like if I just feel like, I don't know, driving around a cool open world and shooting stuff. What's my occupation at Blizzard? I am a senior hard surface modeler 2, because that's a thing in games, on Blizzard cinematic team. So I can see the back's not lining up, but I'm just gonna like block out the basic shape of the front and then just rotate the camera, and then we can adjust everything again. But the idea is you want to keep everything pretty loose while we do this. Just because we're going to pull everything around again anyway. So I'm not being like precious with it at all. Made a whole ranking system for seniors. It's like a game thing, isn't it? Because like there's also like the principal artist position, which I'd never heard of before. And stuff like that. Oh, if we do this would do circle, right? Wait, no, never mind. They're connected. It's very Microsoft, Netflix, big corp thing. They're entering. Oh, fair enough. I mean, Blizzard is Microsoft now. So fair enough. Let me just pinch that for a bit. Why is this here? Oh, never mind. That's why. They were part of Activision. So I think Microsoft bought Activision, so they're still all together, I think. Still using tablet? Oh yeah, I always use tablet. I won't ever drop the tablet. Senior Hard Surface 2 doesn't include, wait, what? A rarity color, if only. But like everyone on the Blizzard Cinematic team, I think is senior. There's no like junior or mid, I don't think. So this is very wrong. Oh, actually it's not as wrong as I thought. Whoa, there's a huge cutout here, I didn't even notice. Whoops. Okay. Oh, interesting. All right, I'll do that as a separate piece then. But yeah, for a while, blocking always looks pretty bad. you just gotta stick with it while you get all the pieces kind of in order, and then you can make it look cool later. Has game cinematics been more chill or just as fast paced as VFX? Don't know. I haven't done much cinematics yet at this current point, but every company has its own pros and cons. I don't think anything will be as fast as VFX. VFX is brutal. I honestly don't think I'll go back to VFX after being here, unless I had to, but. I remember when we did that talk with John, he said there's no thing like a character artist in VFX industry, but that apply to cinematics. Oh, like games definitely have character artists, for sure. Yeah, games is very specific in that case. So the cinematic team originally was like actually no hard surface. It was character and environments, but the environment artist did the hard surface. So I think I'm the only hard surface modeler there. I think. I assume so. Did I work on Dune 3? I did not, unfortunately. But, you know, I'm sure it'll be good. But the characters follow the classic subject modeling like a VFX, right? There's no trying. Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah, cinematics is... So cinematic, a lot of the cinematics artists are all VFX artists. Like, they're not game artists. They you know, do the same standard workflow you expect from VFX. Maybe I should put this line in. Maybe. I guess it's kind of why I don't really see the point of having like NURBS and stuff anymore, because you can kind of just get the same idea through creasing instead. All right, we'll do this just as like a temp thing. Crazy forms. How am I creasing like that? Oh, I just have it hotkeyed. So I just made a custom hotkey for crease tool, and then I drag to the right or left if I want creasing or not. Are there any character poly models for games that aren't sculpted and something like ZBrush? Nah, games is the same thing, right? It's just the high poly is done in whatever is needed. Whoa. I didn't realize this was so wide. Let's alter this a bit. But yeah, I'm just trying to very loosely match this side, and then when I get this in a decent position, I'll rotate the camera and adjust proportions again. So I'm not being super precious about how things actually look. Oh yeah, I'll show you one of my current students' aircraft work on it. It's actually pretty cool. I'm sure she won't mind if I show it. Display capture. This one. I'll just do this while I grab it. Where is it? It's looking pretty badass. Yeah, this is it so far. It's pretty cool. It's funny, we took the concept and we've developed it like so much further than what the concept was. But yeah, it's looking pretty badass. And then we came up with the idea of having a very vastly different landing position. So like when landed, it like folds like forward like this. So it's looking pretty fucking cool. But yeah, that's one of my current think tank students. You don't think you're allowed to touch Maya again? Why is that? Yo, how's it going, Barrow? Is it her first model? No, of course not. I don't know, what year are you in at this point? Is it the third year? Oh, a year and a half? Okay, that's cool. Let me just connect this. Your visa got denied? That sucks, man. What is this on the roof? Oh, the roof is actually way higher. Maybe I might rotate the thing now. It's not too bad, I guess. Then we need to squish in this bit, lower this bit. Well, that feels a bit more natural. It was feeling pretty bad before. But yeah, I know like the blocking phrase can definitely feel like the most intimidating. But if you're just loose and like pretty careless with it, just nudge it around until it starts to feel better. Yo, how's it going? It's so sad how many company no longer company sponsor visas. I guess the main kind of issue with like all the turbulence of the industry means there's so many more people unemployed, which means it's less of an artist market, I guess. Like the post-COVID boom was pretty crazy. So like they just needed artists, right? So then they would just sponsor everyone. But now it's kind of like it's getting harder and harder to justify, I guess. Honestly, it's everything after the blocking phase for me, it's kind of intimidating. It's hard to know when the details need to be modeled to perfection. When, blocking is the easy part. Once you have all the forms there, you can just chill. For me, at least. We can talk about it when we get to it, about how much we should model everything or not. At the end of the day, it's usually just about context of if it's needed or not. This does not feel right. Let's tuck this back in. Yeah, I think it's always best to like invest your time to get a really good blocking. Like with my students, we're stuck in the blocking stage for a while. Not because they're like not good or anything like that, just because the blocking stage to me is like by far the most important. Once you get actually, let me just reopen the pictures. That might be a good example. Like a prime example is all of these panel lines are actually geo on the surface. None of this is modeled in. It's so we could get like the aesthetic down before we do any modeling. After that, the topology is the easy part. So all of this stuff is all temp. All the geo is still very low res, but we're getting the design language down. Once that's all in, the modeling is the easy part. I think you only read comments on Twitch, not YouTube. Oh, sorry. No, because there's two separate panels. So sometimes I, miss the other panel. It's annoying because usually on my OBS, they're right next to each other, but for some reason I accidentally closed the YouTube one, so I don't know how to reopen it. So it's now sitting like separately from the Twitch one. So it's not as next to each other as it usually is. Yo, how's it going? Those panels on... Yo, gone UV. Thanks for the prime. I appreciate it. 48 months. Holy shit. Are we going to do the interior? Hell yeah, we're going to do the interior. For me, I think the exterior of a car isn't good enough anymore. I think if you want a good portfolio piece, you need the interior too. The panel details in the model are just 2D strips of geo skewing up to the fuselage. Essentially. I wouldn't even go as far as skin wrapped. Like it can be as simple as like this, right? If we just... God, this is crazy with how small it is. It doesn't even have to be anything crazy, right? Because it's not like it's not like we're actually going to use this geo. Like if we just take a piece of polygons like this and we just make it a different color, and then we just start like pulling it along the surface, even if it's not like directly on the surface, it's like still good enough to give us an idea of what we need to do, like this. So it doesn't have to be on the surface. It could just be floating like this, because it's still a visual guide of what the surface will be like eventually. Or the alternative is you can use creasing and do this. The model is clean, the kind of model I see on iStation that kills my motivation, but at the same time it ignites. Yeah, it's just time, really. You just need to spend time on the stuff. Okay, so this is nowhere near as high as I thought it would be. Even like the most complex models, it's just time. You just spend more time on it. That's pretty much it. There's no secret sauce to it. It's just, if something has more complexity, it's probably just got more time spent on it. Unless you're Vitali, then you just work at a different speed to everyone else, but that's about it. Most people are not Vitali. It's funny because a lot of the some of the people at Blizzard, they obviously worked with Vitali because Vitali was there like 12 years ago. And yeah, they said that dude is like unhuman, like not human. Just like the work speed and like the efficiency. Am I enjoying Blizzard? Hell yeah, I'm enjoying Blizzard for sure. Everyone there is super cool. Let us turn this corner. Actually, that doesn't really work. Yeah, I've missed the stream. Stream has been fun. But yeah, this year I just wanted to like focus on Blizzard. Well, last year I mean, but now things are a bit more chill. So at the very least, I'll be doing Sundays again. Is this a second piece of geo? Oh no, I'm just not looking at it correctly. But yeah, the way I usually do my blocking, I keep it very simple. I like just placing points of interest to make sure that like help me see the cameras lining up, and then I usually just crease it to hold the shape, just so I can like compare it against something. Oh, so this is all pretty different actually. But yeah, you just want to stay loose and low poly. So that also goes down a lot. I was recently forced to try blend, and goddamn I miss groups. Yeah, it's crazy. the lack of groups in Blender kills me. Let me just grab this one and pull this down here. So where is it on this side? Oh, that's really far off. Okay. Yeah, I'll never understand the lack of grouping in Blender, but it is what it is. Easy enough add-on for that. Yeah, but the add-on exists because I complained in the first place. But you shouldn't need an add-on for like a basic functionality. Imagine a software that couldn't create a cube, and you're like, you need an add-on to create the cube. It's like that. That's the way I see Blender not having groups. It's like it shouldn't be a thing to begin with. But it doesn't matter. I don't use Blender, so that's not my problem. Okay, so this goes here. That should be okay. Something like that. The fuck kind of wizardry and witchcraft is this? What part? But yeah, as far as like modeling goes, I'm pretty basic. I don't have any cool, crazy scripts or any magic. It's just literally just pull the polygons around a bit with creasing and keep it low poly. I'm also not super precious. Like I'm like roughly matching points up here, but I know if I move the camera, I'll probably have to address other things anyway. Actually, this is not too bad. Funny enough. Alright, maybe I should lock this camera for now. Are you going to design the interior yourself? Yeah, I'll probably just look up a bunch of like cyberpunk cars or something and then just do something kind of roughly a mix mash of what I think is cool from that. How deep are you into the Blade Runner universe? Not really that deep. I've just seen the 2 movies. I do like Blade Runner. I think it's cool, but I wouldn't say I'm big in the universe or anything. So let me add a little window. I mean, not a window, a light. Just as like a point of interest. Like for my students, for example, I usually don't get them to do any detail or polygon, like modeling any like topology or anything for ages. Like we need to get all the basic forms and proxies of everything first. And then we can do that stuff later. So that goes lower there. Also, what I do here is I've key binded isolate select to a hotkey, and I'm selecting the camera. So I'm essentially hiding the geo by like isolating and selecting the camera itself, pretty much, just so I can kind of see very clear differences between my model and theirs, the concept. You're finally back to the streams. What are your thoughts on AI in 3D? I've seen some AI meshes before. They're not good. To me, they just look like scans. It is what it is. Oh, this comes down here a lot. I don't know. I try not to really overthink the AI thing too much. Whatever happens, happens, essentially. So it looks okay over there. So this one should be lower. Did you pick up any new workflow tricks that Blizzard wants you can share? Nah, not really. It's still all polygons at the end of the day, right? Like nothing has really changed that much. Oh, so this curve's in here. The AI question gets brought up a ton every time we get guest speakers coming in. To be honest, I think the outsourcing question is equally terrifying. Oh, the outsourcing question? Wow, what's the outsourcing question? Yeah, I don't know. There's always something to be concerned about, honestly. Like it is what it is, right? You can only do what you can do. Oh shit, I screwed that up a bit. The outsourcing has equal likelihood of taking our jobs as AI. Yeah, but the outsourcing thing has been going for like a decade already. Like this is the thing, right? Like there's always a fear of something. Like I personally usually try not to think about it. I usually just try and think about like what can I do for myself in these situations. And usually the answer for me is just to work harder, I guess. But it's, you just have to roll with the punches essentially. Have I seen the reported 3 mil debt DNEG is in? I didn't really care about DNEG, to be honest. I mean, who isn't in debt these days? Like, what's the American debt? Like $38 trillion or something? Hearing a company is in debt sounds like just another day, I guess. Oh, this is completely wrong. Who doesn't Klarna their burrito? What on earth is that sentence? I got no idea what you're talking about. Which part of 3D modeling you enjoy more, the early blockout part or the later detailing? I like the blocking out part, honestly. I get bored if I have to sit there just detailing the hell out of the same thing forever. I like exploring forms and stuff like that. To me, that's the fun part. Of course, you have to do both, but to me, I like this part. I mean, I don't know. I like all of it, honestly. Yeah, I don't want to do blockouts for the rest of my life. That would be boring. But I also don't want to sit there detailing every tiny little thing. That's what Kibash is for. What is this? Maybe I'll put a separate piece of geo there. We need AI that's perfectly topo. Yeah, where's the AI that does the UVs? Like, why aren't we getting that sort of stuff? What is this? Oh, maybe. Yeah, to help myself like figure out geo sometimes as well, I like putting like proxies just to, instead of trying to model it all from one spot, just, adding a separate piece of geo can sometimes help. Just at least get a sensation of what is meant to be there. But yeah, on the subject of like, what Barra said about the the big fears of things taking your job, that's existed for the whole time. Like even before I was in the industry, that was a concern. The main concern was Vancouver taking the jobs from the US. Like these sorts of conversations have just always existed. It just is how it is, right? You're finally back to students. You thought, oh, someone just said the same thing. I knew we'd be talking about AI and 3D. Like that's just like the big topic now. Like there's no more Blender conversations. It's just going to be AI conversations. But yeah, as far as me using AI, I have nothing to use AI with. Like, it doesn't benefit me in any way. I just still do the same bullshit modeling I always do. Still just moving the polygons around. Oh, let's not do that. To be fair, we kind of took the job of practical modelers. Yeah, it's just always been that way. The only thing I don't like is the delusional people online that think they're now suddenly artists. That I think is cringe as hell. Yeah, I think they're like genuine losers. Like people who had no interest in creating anything before AI. I think they're the people I really can't fucking stand. Yeah, one of my main concerns as well is like people not really, like people getting used to like slop, like people's expectation of quality plummeting essentially. So this is meant to come around here. Oh, okay. Ordering custom pizza does not make you a pizza chef. 100%. Like this so-called AI artists are a major pet peeve. Yeah, I feel that. Like I just cringe when I open Twitter and it's just like you see some of the dumbest shit. The amount of like to me what baffles me is like people don't see the bad side that's going to come with, you know, like being able to, you know, the whole Grok thing recently with like everyone just undressing women online. Like that shit's crazy. And then people being like, you consented to it by posting a photo of yourself online. Like that's bullshit. Like what is that? I think people online fucking losers. Like I just try not to look at Twitter and stuff. It's a crazy place. I wonder if this is on an angle. No, it should be straight because the back is straight. But maybe that might look nice if it was on an angle. You feel it's the exclusively online thing? Yeah, totally. But yeah, you just gotta try and ignore it, that sort of stuff. Oh, this is a completely wrong spot. There's always going to be bad actors, unfortunately, in things. It's just life. How do you manage the 3D model with respect to the concept and the parts that will be animated? For example, in the concept, the door part is not functional for animation. In that case, the functionality will take priority. So yeah, the door probably won't work, but that will be up to me to figure out how the door works. Actually, in saying that, that's probably my favorite part about modeling is like making things function, like figuring out how the door works and like how it can like I don't know raise and slot in here or some shit like that. Like that is what I enjoy. That's a lot of fun. I get to do a lot of that sort of stuff at work usually. Like with the ornithopters, right? The ramps needed to properly slot into the top of the ornithopter, so we have to figure out the functionality of the ramp and like animate it moving into place. Like that sort of stuff is fun. Like figuring out what slides into where. I might just cut this off actually. Too high. There's no way this should be different heights. That doesn't make sense. So this will have to be up here. And in that case, that means this needs to be pulled out more. And then this all needs to be pulled out. Hi Andrew, what advice do you give to students stuck in their personal projects? I mean, I'm stuck in blocking phase that's been going on for far too long. It feels like I'm making excuses for not moving forward, waiting for everything to be perfect before starting seriously. I don't know, it depends what your perception of too long is. To me, the amount that you're in the blocking phase might actually be what I suggest. So it's hard to know what do you mean is too long for blocking stage? Because what you don't want to do is jump the gun and start detailing and then realize your blocking wasn't good and then your life is now hard. Like, that's the main thing, right? If the model is ready to move on to the detail stage, that's when it's ready. It doesn't matter, I guess. Your inability to stay with the project might be more of a concern than the blocking stage. Yeah, how's it going? Yeah, it's cool. People like working at the same time. It's pretty cool. Yeah, Happy New Year as well. I do also read YouTube. It's just it's the YouTube chat's like off to the side, so it's sometimes I might just accidentally miss it. But I am looking at both. But yeah, there's no like set defined time of this is good. This is now blocking. Like I mentioned, like I'll bring this up again. To me, this aircraft that my student is doing, we're still in blocking stage and it's been like 2 months. Like to me, this is still blocking because none of this is modeled in. Like it's a very basic geo and we've like overlaid basic geo on top of it for proxies of where the panel lines will be. So to me, this is still blocking phase. So our definition of blockings might be different as well. I'll close this. You had to switch to YouTube streams. Twitch gave me like 3 unskippable minutes ads, and yeah, Twitch is kind of ass in that way, unfortunately, that we don't really have much control of that. How much time do you take for a project like considering all aspects? You spend as long as you spend. Like, you can keep going on forever if you want, but that might not be advised. There's no set like time frame, honestly. Like even at work, how long will it take to do this model? As long as the client has given us. Like that's pretty much it. Like there's no set time frames for how long something should take. We usually just spend the time we've been given. If the student model just showed us what would be the difference between taking the final blocking, honestly, visually not much. And that's kind of the point. Like I don't want them to go too much into cutting all the panel lines, and then the panel lines don't look good. So I get them to explore the panel lines in a more easy to break method. So visually it will probably just stay the same. And that's the point, right? The point is we get the blocking so good that doing the actual high res is easy. Parkinson's law, which famously says that work expands to fill. Yeah, exactly. Like the same thing with that. If we get no time to do the work, we do the work as we do the best we can in the time we're given, and then they get what they get at the end. That's how, you know, work is as well, the same thing. So your idea is essentially get the design and visual made to look good, and then you work up the wireframe essentially. Yeah. So the idea is like, you don't want to spend doing all this super high res geometry for something that you don't even know if it's going to look good. That to me is just too risky. I'd rather have all the forms lining up before I do any topology. Like, I'm going to leave this car in this very low res form until I'm happy with how the forms are. And then I don't care about topology until I'm happy with the form. Because there's no point of like, all right, I'm going to start modeling this high res light, and then turns out the light's not in the right spot. It's like stuff like that. Keep everything low res proxies, and as long as you can, pretty much. But of course, this is just my method, right? Like always, these are just my opinions. Other people have other ways of modeling. People can do whatever they want. This is just what I do. Like, I'm kind of over the idea of telling people what they should be doing. Like, people can do whatever they want. I just share what I do, and if people resonate with that, that's cool. We can do the same workflow. You get stuck in getting into small topology stuff too early, and the model actually look kind of Well, the main issue as well is it also comes from like working in production. Because imagine this, right? Imagine, let's say we start this car today, and then like, I'm gonna do a super high res interior, and I start doing a crazy interior before the exterior is finished, right? And then suddenly, VFX Super's like, we need the car in the film now. Like, time's up. Like, you thought you had like another month to go, but too late. Time's done. We need it now. If you're given like a day to wrap it up, but you've been focusing so much on parts that didn't really matter, and you haven't got the main forms in there yet, you're fucked. It's always better to like build everything up together. Like, even if, like, say for example, the what's it called? If my student had to wrap her plane in like a week, she could, because we've done we've put all the things in the place they need to. Where if you go crazy high res, like make a high res engine that's barely seen, you've just kind of wasted your time. Yeah, and like Laurie brings up another point. If you keep it low res as possible, much easier to modify. Because it also means like this blocking, right? Like, I only started this like an hour ago, but if I was to do a full 8-hour day on this, I would have the blocking looking like this, and I could already show this to the supervisor and get the approval. We could do turntables and everything within the first day, right? But if I had not done this part because I thought I wanted to make a high res whatever this thing is, then the VFX Super's not going to give a shit about this. They want to see the whole vehicle. It's usually like a mix of all these different things combined. In case you mold two pieces of the car separate and then realize they are merged, do you ever combine the pieces and then use quad draw to make the topology? Nah, like if say for example I realized I wanted these two to be merged into one piece, I would essentially just figure out the topology from this side and this side to flow into each other. Then I would just merge them and just merge the verts. So that's also why I'm fine with modeling things independently, because we can always just attach them to each other later, right? Ashthorpe's Batmobile breakdown video on YouTube is a good example of my blockout technique. Oh, cool. Yeah, the Batmobile was pretty cool. But yeah, especially for concept, you want to be even looser, right? I'm pretty sure these tires should come out at some point. I think it'd be too boring if they're both flat. Maybe if this one comes out to match it. Yeah, let's do that. Do you generally learn more from finishing 10 projects in a year than one really big project at the same time frame? I think so, yeah. I think also like learning how to finish the project is also good. Because I personally never feel like I finish work. We just run out of time. Everything, like even all the stuff in all the movies I've worked on, we could always add more detail. There's always room to improve it, but we run out of time. So I think getting used to the idea of finishing your projects is probably valuable. Even if like it's not perfect to you, you got to learn how to put the pencil down at some point. Like even the YF19, the exterior, I see a thousand things I could change on that to make it better, but it's done. It's we're not touching that again. Like it is what it is. So this bit, I'm going to split the difference. I'm going to make it higher and forward. The Macross ship? Oh yeah, the Macross ship as well could have. Oh wait, no, I did two Macross things. But yeah, the even the SDF1, that could have been way better. But whatever. That thing is, we're never going to touch that thing again. Did I finish the fighter aircraft? The only thing I didn't finish on the YF-19 was the landing gear. And I wanted to texture it, but at this point I don't really care about learning texturing. I guess. You know, like I make these plans of things and then priorities change, and it's just that's just life, honestly. Like I think it'd be cool to do something and then like prime example is I had no idea I was going to go to Blizzard. that was just out of nowhere, and like that's just life. So I'm gonna do this and then this, and then we're gonna crease this one. Wait, what am I doing? This one? Yeah, this one. No, I'm creasing the wrong one. Oh wait, no, I didn't even need this. Let us pull this back in. How many web projects do I got in limbo? I mean, I'm going to say 0 because I have no intention of going back to them. so there's your answer. Actually, one. Technically, this one. Actually, no, this one's not at limbo. We're working on it. So yeah, probably 0 is probably a good answer. Do I still plan on texturing? Oh yeah. Hey, good John. How's it going? Texturing? Nah, I can't be bothered texturing. I just don't see a point. And my my Mario license right now, and I'm not gonna pay for Mario again. Fuck that. Yeah, I'm modeling the car you recommended. So thanks for the recommendation. What do you think makes professionals faster? Probably just the eye, knowing something will work, not having to experiment with things. Like I notice this to my students, which is always kind of funny. Like they'll be struggling with an area, and I'll just grab some verts and pull it to one side, and then it works. Like it's stuff like that that I think is probably it. It's just experience of like knowing how to resolve problems. So that always feels kind of fun when that happens. But didn't do what I wanted. What are we learning with this project? Me? I'm not learning anything. I'm doing this just because people always said they wanted to see the start of a project, and I didn't really have anything on record on YouTube, so I'm just doing that. But I'm not learning anything from this project. This is more just an excuse to stream and hang out with people and make some cool car, and other people can do some learning. I don't need to learn anything. And that sounds kind of arrogant for me saying I don't need to learn anything. But with this particular case, not really. I'm not going to be learning anything with this. The Twitch title is so accurate. Yeah, I don't know how to change my Twitch title. I forgot. So it's yeah, it's like that for the moment. What is this highlight here? There, I think there is an impossible form in this, but whatever. Another cool thing is like if you select a piece of geo and then you select the camera. Actually, no, select the camera, then select the piece of geo and isolate select, you'll get just the one piece, which can be super useful for doing stuff like this. So checking like this line is good. Forever wrapping up the YF19, yeah, no, right. Yeah, I'll figure out the stream thing after the stream. I just want to make sure I actually clicked go live before I came up with an excuse to not go live. So I'll sort that stuff out later. Oh shit, I didn't do this piece under here, did I? Oh, Mario's now cheaper than Maya? Really? How? Even with like the educational license, they still cost me an arm and a leg. But I at least use Maya, that's the problem. Well, not problem, but that's the benefit, is I will at least use my Maya. I know Mari, I paid for Mari, then barely used it. Same thing Houdini, I bought Houdini and barely used it. And since the subscription, I obviously don't have it anymore. So it's kind of a bit of a waste. Yeah, I'm gonna refill my water. I'll be back in a sec. Yo, watching any peekaboo streams? What the fuck? Are you from peekaboo stream? Check new price? Yeah, hell no. I'm not gonna. You know someone that paid like 10K for a perpetual license of Maya years ago? Alright, 10K is kind of rough. Fuck that. So what happens if you own a perpetual license and then you won't get like the current versions of Maya, right? What's the most underrated concept that 3D models don't put enough work in when trying to get in the industry? What is... Sorry, can you rephrase your question? I don't really understand what you mean by that. Most underrated concept. For 10K, you better get the updates? Yeah, for sure. What's the process like on production? Wait, what? When you see the concept art with impossible forms, you got to resolve it yourself. Yeah, I mean, within reason, right? Like if you, because like if you have to do it this way as well, right? If you build on top of the concept and you show that the form is impossible, it's, there you go, we can change it. Also, like if the client sees that, okay, this actually kind of, like this happens as well, right? Like the concept art looks cool and then we build it in 3D and it turns out it looks kind of bad in 3D. The only thing that really matters is the 3D. So if, like we'll do changes to the concept if it doesn't look good. Like that's very normal. You paid for the Redshift license because I knew I couldn't pay to upgrade the version. Oh, yeah. Maybe I should work on this piece over here. wonder how far this is actually meant to go in. No, it can't be that far. Are you using NURBS? Nah, hell no. I don't like NURBS at all. I'm just using creasing. Maybe that is meant to be pulled over more. NURB weights? Is it actually NURB weights? Really? But yeah, we're using creasing. Oh, okay, so this is meant to be further out here. What are people, random question, what are people's thoughts on the idea that I don't actually have music in my streams? I don't have it on so the YouTube VOD doesn't get fucked, but does it bother people that there's no music or anything? I always just kind of saw it as people can put whatever music they want on themselves if they're sick of listening to my voice or something. Don't even notice? Fair enough. Okay, then we'll just keep it how it is then. Yo, Bella, how's it going? I like it because it's like co-working stream. That's fair. Also, people can put their own music on if they need to. Because I'm listening to music right now, but I forget that no one has music because I'm listening to music. It's just not playing through the stream. Is there a certain step in the workflow you often see entry-level artists struggle with? Oh, I get you. Or it's the blocking stage, 100%. Like artists jump the gun and go straight to detail too quickly, without focusing on getting the forms right. Because like if you get the forms right early, we can show this to the VFX soup quickly. Like I said, like I started this like an hour ago, but if I was to do a full workday on this, I could show this to the VFX soup end of day. And that is more valuable than trying to impress them with some detailed model, right? Oh, this one. But yeah, that's the standard. Like all my students have done that every single time. Not in like a bad way, but that's just how it is. They just jump the gun to detail too quickly. But that's normal. That's not like something to like put them down about. It's just everyone does that. I did that when I started. Or they just get too excited by the topology. Like I'll tell them to like block out the suspension and they'll do some super crazy complex shit. I'm just like, no, just calm down. We don't need that. What on earth is this form? Oh. Is this a curve? I guess it is. Weird. Okay. Have you ever had to use reflection maps when modeling cars to make the perfect smooth surface? Yeah, I mean, you'll see it when you render it that it doesn't look bad. I mean, it doesn't look good. So, yeah, just putting like a bevel on will help a lot, rendering it yourself. But usually at this kind of point, usually it works out without me having to think about that sort of stuff. I mean, watch it bite me in the ass when I do this car, but Usually it works out okay. Oh, yeah. So when you asked for like what's the most underrated concept, I thought you meant literally like a concept matter, like choice, not not mental concept or something like that. God, this part's really bothering me. Let me add the curve that this is meant to have. I'm gonna have to come back and manually model this part later. I'll just remember to do it later. This is a weird form. Don't get the forms right is like, is it, wait, what? Is it a matter of like pleasing proportions or lack of creasing forms? Getting the forms right is mean like if I start making a high-res mesh of this and then it turns out this side doesn't flow into this side correctly, then I've got the proportions wrong. It's like that sort of thing, right? It's like this and this are very clearly not correct at the moment. So the form's not right. It should feel correct. That's when I know the proportions are right. The forms are right. Concept choice would be bike. Nah, all right, we're going to do a PSA. No more motorbikes. We've done too many. So future people watching this, no more motorbikes. We've filled the internet with too many. So we need to find a new subject for every single person to make. What are some recommendations from the chat of new things to populate the internet with? Back to snails? Fucking hell, man. That's stupid snail fucking bullshit. Not a mech? Why not a mech? The milk bowl that Luke drinks from. That was such a weird task. So that was literally like a several hour task. Like I just did one day. I was like, why am I doing this? Like, oh, we just need to. Like, okay, I'll do that. That was interesting. This feels weird. It's too thin. Locomotives, but I'm crazy about steam. Locomotive would be a good choice. Not like, I wouldn't do like a current gen train, but like an old steam train would be pretty cool. But you got to do the carriage and you got to do like the interior. I think that would be cool. Yeah, there's a lot of trains that have been made in VFX. Everyone needs to do a hover car. Bring the Bioshock aesthetic back. Oh, I love Bioshock. Isn't there meant to be like a Bioshock like TV show? Is that happening still? Oh, it's a Bioshock movie, right? It's been cancelled? Fuck. What? Why is it so hard to make all these cool IPs into movies? Like, why don't they just do it? Like, why does this shit always get cancelled? Like, what happened to like the 40K one? I want that to come out. Take a look at the concept art that was released from it. It wasn't that impressive, to be honest. To me, the concept art doesn't really matter because I've seen pretty dog shit concept art that we've turned into awesome VFX. So the concept art I don't think really matters. Like the execution in VFX I think matters a lot more than the concept. But yeah, that's kind of a shame. I might do something. This is what I sometimes do as well. If, say, for example, we want to have like a shadow in there, but I don't want to model it yet, what we can do, actually, let's do it the other side. I'm going to take this piece here, I'm going to do this, and then we're going to make this slightly off the surface. And I'm going to make this one. Let's just lamp it. Make this one dark. So this is kind of like a placeholder to me that I want this to be cut out later. So we can do stuff like that. So all of, oh God, I didn't do thing. All of this is just to kind of help me block out the aesthetic of the vehicle before we even have to do any modeling. So now without actually doing any cutting, we can like at least have a look that this is gonna line up pretty good. Oh, so this is actually pretty different. Okay. So we can use like colors to do proxies for us. Okay, that doesn't do that at all. So it goes up. Okay, that's good to know. And all of this is just to help us make sure we have the right proportions for everything. So there's like a lot of tricks that we can do with this without actually having to commit to anything. Since Spaceman 2 started getting into Warhammer. Oh, Warhammer 40K is so cool. I don't even see it. But behind me, actually, let me move my camera. That shelf is covered in my dad's 40K army from when we used to play together 20 years ago. So maybe I can get some of it actually. I haven't had time to like properly like fix it and stuff, but we got like the Land Raider and shit from like 20 years ago, which is kind of crazy. Yeah, some of the pieces are sitting up there. I haven't had time to like go back and like glue it or anything. But yeah, I told my dad I was working on a Games Workshop project. And he was just like, oh, I've still got my army from back in the day, like when we used to like play together 20 years ago. So he sent me his army over in the mail, which is pretty cool. But yeah, it's pretty surreal. I like working for Games Workshop and then working for Blizzard right after. I was like, fuck, I feel like I'm like 13 again. Like, yeah, it's just crazy. So I'm back into playing like World of Warcraft again now, right? And but I went back to Australia recently, and I was sitting in my bedroom from when I was a child, and I was playing Warhammer. I was playing World of Warcraft in my room that I used to play World of Warcraft in 20 years ago, except now I work for Blizzard, and I was like, that's a pretty fucking cool full circle sort of moment thing. They survived the trip. Oh yeah, my dad mailed it over with like heaps of like packaging and shit like that. Some of them got a little damaged, so I need to repair them, but I'll do that eventually. But yeah, it's kind of funny going from, because I never had any idea I'd work at Blizzard. Like imagine like telling 13-year-old Andrew one day you'll be working for this company. It's kind of crazy. Like I never had like any intention of going to Blizzard or anything. Life just happened that way. Did I watch Avatar? No, I didn't watch Avatar. Is it good? I'm sure visual effects are good. Actually, in saying that, I was really disappointed because to me, like my favorite thing of Avatar is the industrial design in Avatar is like peak. And then like I was like, I wonder what cool crazy shit we'll see in the next one. And then I watched the trailer and it's just there's fucking 2 sea dragons now instead of 1. I'm like, that's it? Like that's not cool. Like I want to see new cool shit. Why are we just having 2 sea dragons now instead of 1 sea dragon? I'm like, it was just all the same shit. So I haven't really thought about watching it yet. Maybe eventually I'll probably see it, but it's the first and second movie Kip Ash together. That's a shame. Yeah, I was hoping to see some cool, because I remember seeing Avatar 2. I was like, fuck, everything, like all the vehicles were so cool. And it just, if it's all just the same thing again, it's just like, oh, it's not as interesting. What's been the biggest change for workflow with transition to working in games rather than film? The main thing I've dealt with is I haven't actually cared about topology. I just do high-res meshes. So that's cool. I've just been doing high-res meshes, so I haven't had to think about topology anymore. So that's fun. Not needing to care about my topology anymore. Just focusing purely on art. That's been cool. It's just like, it's not necessarily the workflow that's been the biggest change. It's like the mentality of games is very different. Things are very fluent and dynamic. Where as opposed to VFX, everything's usually pretty structured. Like by the time VFX starts, things are usually kind of worked out in theory. So where with games, you're kind of part of the process a bit more. You just your chat provides more context and themes, but yeah, I reckon. But my problem is I didn't care about the Avatar story. Like, I didn't care about the story at all. So if the thing I did want to watch it for isn't there, it's not as interesting to me. But that's just my opinion, right? I wonder if this is all meant to be curved under. I think it is actually. The CGI is the star? Yeah, the CGI is always the star. I wonder if we should, how much we should taper this in. I had the same outlook with the Godzilla movies. Don't give a shit about people. Just see a giant lizard and ape smash. Yeah, exactly. I mean, obviously everyone has different opinions of why they see these films. But for me, Avatar, my favorite thing about Avatar was the tech. It's such a sick aesthetic. You just wish they did more of the fire ash people. A lot of it still took place in the forest water. Oh, fair enough. You do ZBrush fast or just high res my work? Just high res my work. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, I still don't use ZBrush. Fuck that program. We need to make this form more interesting. So this can't be right. Is the snail ever coming back? Fuck no. We're the snail is dead. Yeah, it's kind of funny. Like before this, I had like, I always felt this need to like, well, not need, but you know, I felt like I needed to improve in some other way, right? Like I've been doing the same thing over and over. Now I kind of don't really care. like I'm fine. Just keep doing hard service modeling. It seems to have worked out for me. I know they like you know, sometimes the schools tell students that they shouldn't do hard surface, but I don't know, it's worked out for me. Is that on F-SPY equivalent to Maya? Would be so easy to match concept art, assuming perspective art is possible in 3D. That's the problem. A lot of the time, it's not possible. And it's, you know, it's a good skill to learn. You know, I'd say this is pretty close. It's a good skill to learn in general, how to match this stuff without. This bit's a bit weird. It's a, you know, it's a good skill to learn in general, how to do this stuff without these extra programs. What's this line? Because yeah, like this curve here doesn't physically work, but we'll figure something out. But yeah, I highly encourage everyone learns how to do this. You fear the warrior who practiced one kick 10,000 times, not the warrior who practiced 10,000 kicks once. Yeah, fair enough. I mean, I do agree with that to a degree as well. Actually, maybe there is a gap here. This could be like a vent to on the back. Maybe there is a gap. Maybe we'll explore that later. But this is what I kind of like. I like the idea of like looking at the forms and seeing if it actually is the correct way of doing it. Because there's so many times we'll get something from concept and it just doesn't work in 3D. Or it could just be better. You have a friend who's deep into world eaters? Sick. 40k is too expensive though. That's shit is insane. Is that engine on the back? I guess it is. Oh no, of course it's the engine, but what is this middle piece? Oh, I totally read that wrong. Okay. Your portfolio is a couple years old and it's terrible. I'm thinking of restarting it. Is there a hard surface model you suggest? No one say fucking motorbike. before we get into this again. Okay, I should have just fully read your comment first. Yeah, don't do motorbike. We've done too many motorbikes. Well, the world has seen enough. Some people mentioned a train could be kind of cool. So to me, I think the most important thing is you want like the reason I suggested the motorbike first is because it has like a variety of like, you know, machined forms combined with like elegant forms. And then you got a variety of material and stuff like that. It kind of ticks all the boxes of everything. So I would take that sort of mindset into something else. So you could do like a car like this as a portfolio piece, but you would have to do a good, nice interior, which is very different to the exterior. And I would probably show off the engine. Stuff like that. Yeah, Gujon, if you're still here, I'm going to look at your portfolio piece as an example. Yeah, so Gujon was one of my students at Think Tank, and his car is a good choice. Why is it not loading? Weird. But yeah, so he has like the nice mix of like elegant forms with like crazy machine parts, and then he has the interior as well. So I think something like this is a good portfolio piece. Plus, we also worked out like how everything like moves and functions. So stuff like that. To me, I think showing functionality is also a good thing. Where's the full video? Is it at the top? Yeah, let's just watch the video. But yeah, Gujon walked out of school into DNEG, so it's a good portfolio choice. But their presentation is super nice as well. Helicopter? Yeah, helicopter would be a good choice. Don't do a Super Cobra though, or an Apache or a Hind. There's too many of those. But yeah, the presentation of this is cool as well. Yo, Happy New Year. Did you ever line up the concept in this? I don't think you did do. Oh, there's the concept up there. Yeah, he just lined the concept up and then we just did our best to match the concept. That's pretty much it. And then we just made up whatever needed to underneath. And the back, essentially. Yo, Huey. Yeah, Huey is cool. Those are the best helicopters, but yeah, they're the ones that everyone does. The problem is you want to stand out. I think if you want to do an even better portfolio, it would be an older helicopter that's been maybe war-torn, yeah, is probably the best putting it. That's been damaged, so you can go through and do like, you can do like bullet holes in like the side of maybe something from like the Vietnam War or something like that would be cool. With like, bullet holes through like the side. You can have like the mounted weapons on the side. Could be like an extra point of interest for detail. What you want is, you don't want something perfect and clean, because it adds much more character. Yeah, like Crimson says, give it a bit of story. Like you could, yeah, that's like, if we keep going with the Vietnam War one, you can put like a bunch of stuff in the back where the soldiers sit, that can tell a story of like an engagement that the soldiers were in, stuff like that. I wouldn't put blood and stuff in there. That's you want to avoid like gore with portfolio stuff, because you just don't know who will see it. Someone might find it a bit too offensive, but you still want a texture, but priorities keep changing. Yeah, I feel that. Honestly, you probably don't need to, because you've already got a job. But yeah, if you want to, you don't have to though. You've gathered reference for the Millennium Falcon, but I'm not sure it's been overdone. It has definitely been overdone. I personally wouldn't do like an X-wing. I wouldn't do a Falcon. I wouldn't do common stuff, because it's just so overdone. Not fan art, yeah. I think I have mixed opinions of fan art. I think I actually I did a video on portfolio pieces. Maybe let me go find that actually. Display capture. Let me find my video on portfolio pieces. But I would usually avoid fan art. But I'm not saying you can't do it though. Wow, that's a 20-minute video. Yeah, let me just drop this in. I can't remember what I say about fan art in this. I would usually avoid it, but it's not end of the world if you do. If you do it well, that's the only thing that matters. It has to be done well. If you do good fan art, cool. If it's bad, then we've got some problems. Yeah, we're back. Yeah, we're back to streaming again. That you want to be better at ZBrush? I mean, take your bike into ZBrush, man. There's your practice. You worked on a model for a sponsor cinematic. I had to match not one-to-one, but quite similar to a character model that's already on a game. It counts as fan art. I mean, if you did it for work, then you... Wait, what? A sponsor cinematic. Are you saying you did something for a job? Or just for fun? You ever see or know anyone that wants to transition to games, VFX, but more for layout? I have no idea what they would do for a portfolio. Yeah, I got no idea, sorry. Transition from where? What are some of my favorite hard surface concept artists? Probably Collie Wirtz would be up there. George Hull. Paul Chideason. Obviously, like, you know, Fausto Di Martini and, you know, Vitali, stuff like that. Yeah, Happy New Year. I think a lot of Collie's work is very loose though. So if you want to tackle a challenge, Collie's would be good. Actually, let me show you one of Collie's things. Actually, we already, one of my students did do Collie's work. Let's see. Okay. Carlos actually did one of this was my first think tank student. So this was actually one of Collie's designs. Where's the concept? Or maybe it's in the breakdown. Oh, there it is there. So this was the concept. As you can see, Collie's work is very loose, but that's also can be cool because it gives you a lot of things to interpret. It's hard. I usually don't encourage students to do this though, just because it can be quite hard. But if you have a mentor, then it can be cool. But yeah, so he made all this stuff function, which is pretty cool. Pretty crazy. Oh, is this not the animated one? Is there an animated one? Oh, there you go. But yeah, we figured out how everything folds away and stuff like that. But yeah, Carlos did the exact same workflow I'm showing now. The super low poly, creased, subdivide up, and then start refining using kitbash, stuff like that. Yeah, Carlos at Sony now. Layout, environment, artist portfolio in VFX is mostly Houdini these days. Interesting. I had no idea. Carlos is awesome. Oh yeah, you're also at Sony, Garrison. How is Sony going? How do you approach very complex hard surface elements? For example, an engine block or something similar. Do you ever rely on ZBrush booleans and Dynamesh? Hell no. I would never use ZBrush for hard surface. That's just not me. Honestly, if I had to, like, do something super boolean heavy, maybe you could use plasticity or something. But honestly, I I do all the proxies for everything in Maya with creasing, and then just Boolean everything together. And then, but I use creasing and then subdivide. Oh damn, we've been streaming for 2 hours already. I'll go for 1 more hour, but let's see. I'm feeling in the mood to keep working on this thing. I didn't really do much 3D work over the break. Sony's great large team. Yeah, your team is fucking huge. I don't know. Sony just hired so many people, which kind of surprised me. This kind of implied that this is curved under, which kind of is a bit weird, but maybe we will do that. Have a look at Henry Chervenko on our station. Does some insane hard service stuff. That name sounds really familiar, so I probably have seen this stuff before. But yeah, there's some crazy cool hard surface stuff in ZBrush. Me personally, I'm just not a hard surface ZBrush person. What is this form? How do you match the camera with the concept? I guess you can go back and watch the stream. I guess. I just keep it low, super low poly, and just adjust things, you know, well, not slowly, very loosely. Like I'm not very tied to anything yet. I just kind of pull forms around. But the idea is you want to keep it very low poly and loose, so you can make big changes very easily, and you're not tied to it pretty much. Maybe I should start working into doing this stuff. Yo, thanks for the prime. I appreciate it. Good to have you back a stream. Thanks. It's good to be back. In movies, production are fusion? Nah, not really. Not in films. In games, it's fusion is used, not in films though. How many months does it take a student to create a vehicle like that? The modeling is usually like 3 to 4 months. But you know, students always ask me, well, how long should it take them? Honestly, at this point, it's as long as it takes. Like, students should prioritize improving and learning over trying to match their mentors' speed, because that's just not going to happen. So, you know, usually the project will sway based on how the student is doing. If the student's doing well, we can do more. If they're not doing well, we tone it down. So this is out here. But yeah, usually for modeling, I would say 3 to 4 months. 3 to 4 full-time working. Yeah, full-time working. Do you still do portfolio views? I haven't done any in, obviously I haven't been streaming or anything, so I haven't done any for a while. But I don't know, is that something people would be interested in bringing back, like the portfolio reviews and stuff like that? We can always go back to doing stuff like that. So you can see there's some crazy fucked up geo going on with this sort of stuff. Usually what will happen is I'll leave this like this, just like this is the same as this one here. And once we subdivide up to the next level, then I'll probably use this extra topology we have to like make sure we get the form actually how it should be. But for now, we can leave it as broken. It'll be fine for now. You learned a lot from them? Alright, sick. Yeah, I'm sure we can get back into it eventually. It's funny because like before I had all these big plans of like, you know, working on like the streaming and, you know, building the YouTube channel and all that sort of stuff like that. And then just out of nowhere, Blizzard is like, hey, do you want to come work for us? I'm like, all right. My priorities are kind of changing a bit now. But yeah, eventually it'll be cool. Oh, interesting. This just cuts off here. Okay. But yeah, we can go back to it. Mostly people in the professional industry came into VFX through environments and 3D modeling artist roles. Wait, what? Mostly people in professional industry come into VFX through environment 3D modeling roles. Not necessarily. All departments have a lot. Modeling is very popular though. That is true. Modeling is a very popular discipline. It's definitely one of the more competitive ones for sure. I wouldn't use modeling. I wouldn't go into modeling if it's not your passion. Like, actually in general, I'd say that about anything. I wouldn't go into any discipline unless it's what you actually want to do. Like if you want job security, like rigging or something would be best, but like why would you do rigging if you don't enjoy rigging? Like I wouldn't prioritize something like that. I'd just prioritize whatever you enjoy. It's like a lot of students also get told not to do hard surface because there's not much hard surface work. But then if you enjoy hard surface, why wouldn't you do it? Yeah. I always have this talk with all my students about should they actually focus on hard surface or not. And honestly, like you'll get the most out of it if you enjoy what you're doing. And if you enjoy doing hard surface, do hard surface. I would ignore people online saying that there's no hard surface work. The argument, I know this is going to sound kind of interesting to say. The argument is like, if you want to do hard surface, then you got to be the best at hard surface. But my usual response to that is, well, just become the best at hard surface then. Like, that's pretty much it. If you really want to do it, just become the best. And you'd be surprised how easy it is because no one does hard surface. So, yeah. You'll find the people that really enjoy a hard surface become the best by default just because they're doing what they enjoy. And that's why I think it's the most important thing, to just do what you enjoy. Like I would have a very different life if I didn't focus on what I enjoyed. So that's just my general, like of course people can disagree with me if they want, but that's just how I feel. Like I would not have worked as hard as I did if I didn't do what I enjoyed. If everyone's the best, who's the best? Well, when I say the best, I don't mean literally like top one or something, because that just doesn't exist. But like become like prime example is like most of the time, my students in like Think Tank, for example, would probably end up being the best hard surface students in the year just purely because they're the only ones that care about hard surface. Like by default, they become the best. So it just kind of happens naturally. My biggest issue, well, not issue, is if people do something they don't enjoy, they're just not going to put the time and effort in. So would you rather tick some boxes and do everything, but everything is like lackluster? Or would you rather just focus on the one thing you enjoy and just make the best work you possibly can? And that's just how I always view this sort of conversation. Marco Plouffe? Oh, yeah, he's amazing. Sorry, I missed a lot of conversation. Time to create a model shouldn't be the focus for students. I 100% agree. You should just do the best you can in the time you have. You're struggling since you're choose effects or hard surface. They're very different. Just find what you enjoy most, honestly. What can you imagine yourself doing 10 hours a day for the rest of your life? I'm not saying you have to work 10 hours a day, but if you had to do a lot of overtime, what would you be more happy to do? You're thinking of going to think tank, but my choice came to artifacts. Oh, you're in France? I mean, artifacts is amazing as well. I don't think you made a bad decision there. Artifacts is one of the best schools for sure. Yeah, when I say become the best, I don't mean literally like there's no like rankings or anything. It's like literally just become the best in your surroundings at what you do. And I think that's how you should tackle everything, honestly. Because like VFX is very competitive. Like I'm not gonna beat around the bush with that. If you want to have a successful career, you gotta simply just try and become the best you can. You always struggle when turn increasing into sub D, especially for areas where the creasing stops in the middle of the face. Yeah, that sort of thing is essentially what you have to do is you have to just do what I'm doing here, where you're planning ahead that you know you're going to have to come back and alter this. You'll subdivide up and then you'll go back in and you'll modify the topology to give you what you need. Like that's just, you just need to plan ahead and make like mental note of coming back to it later. For example, this isn't a perfect circle. So I know when I subdivide this up, I'm going to have to make sure I come back in and recurve all this, which is why I'll probably keep this here. A lot of this low poly proxy stuff is just planning ahead for how to adjust things later. Oops, I was muted. I mean, yeah, I didn't notice how big the manipulator is. I can make it smaller for you if it makes you feel better. In France, but new campus is opening soon in London. Oh, interesting. You really despise how AI is going to the point where it's causing RAM prices to spike. Yes, that shit is dumb. That is indeed very annoying. I might subdivide this up because it's a bit too low res. And then slide these edges forward a bit more. Okay. This is starting to feel a bit nicer. So this here seems to combine with the back. So I'm going to have to model this into each other at some point. That's going to be annoying. That's all right. All that RAM and that image is still yellow. Yeah, like some... Yeah. AI is annoying for sure. This is going to be an interesting transition. So it looks like there's actually this one here. And then, oh God. I'm going to break my Jira for a bit, but it's fine. So I want this to be there. Oh, I can't see shit. I'm not sure how serious I'm going to take the concept. I mean, this is my project. I know whatever I want. But like, I could essentially just avoid... Whoa, why is it going that way? I could avoid curves if I didn't want them. Or they didn't feel right. But we'll try our best. My main concern actually is the door. I don't know if the door will actually function. So we might have to ignore some elements. So this should still be here, but deeper. The door transition is tricky. Real life Porsche 911 has much steeper vertical door, but that wouldn't work with the rear end of the concept. Yeah, I know. I'll figure something out. I'm thinking this whole section here will raise, but then there's a cut here which doesn't make sense. So in these situations, we'll just make it up ourselves. Not many great schools in London. You have some okay schools in the UK. Like I remember, like I thought Hertfordshire was meant to be pretty good. I don't know if it still is, but I thought at some point it was meant to be a good school. But yeah, it might get to the point where some areas I might just make up myself. But yeah, we'll keep it low poly for a while. When I do a hover car, I want to try retrofit the Zol. Oh yeah. Yeah, sure, why not? I don't even know how to say that. I know what car you're talking about, but I have no idea how to say that car's name correctly. This one has a weird thing where this highlight doesn't transition the whole way. It's a bit awkward. And I don't want to flatten the door too much because it's already too flat. Actually. I'm regretting subdividing up already. I shouldn't have done that. But it's alright, we need to do just a bit of nudging around. There's always a way to fix things. Worst comes to worst, we just open up the previous file and we grab that piece. Isn't Escapes used in London? I think so. The CG soup on both Dune movies was from Escape. So was the lead texture artist also from Escape. I think it's a good school. Actually, let's do this. I feel the need to flatten this door. It's not feeling right to me. But I probably should have done that before. It's all right. We just use soft select and we need to do a little nudging around later. Yeah, it's usually why it's good to not be too precious with the blocking because things are going to be changing. Oh shit, I did the bottom at the same time. Oh, go with that. Is there a big difference in pipeline and film and games? 100%. Very, very different. The main difference is film. Film, we create just the high-res mesh, which has to be clean and organized, stuff like that. Games, you do your high-res, which is baked to low-res. So your high-res doesn't actually need to care about topology or anything. That's the main key difference. Yeah, as soon as we zoom in, we start to see everything's actually pretty different to what I blocked out. But whatever, it's fine. But yeah, it's just a different mindset between film and game. Hey, how do you always set up the perspective camera in the exact same way of the image plane? If you go to the start of the YouTube video, you should be able to see the full process of how I've done everything. But so I'm going to connect this one over here. It's essentially just a lot of trial and error, keeping everything low poly, and then trying to get everything lined up. But like, you know, as you can see now, be okay with the idea that everything's going to change at some point. Even though things aren't perfect at the moment, we'll have to like smooth this stuff out later for sure. Yeah, there's this weird extra double highlight here, which just doesn't go anywhere, which is a bit annoying. You have two offset highlights. So we're gonna have to kind of figure this out. But this is normal concepts. You get random highlights which just don't really continue. Like it looks like there's a bit of a highlight here, but whatever. We'll figure that out. Oh, that actually goes into that. Okay. But yeah, we're constantly just placing things in points of interest and then just moving them along. Like you can see, I'm not caring about topology or anything. It's just, we're just pulling shapes around, trying to line up things like this, and then we can figure it out later. I think someone was wondering how it was due to them being different groups. What do you mean? Oh, how do you have symmetry? Oh yeah. I've just referenced the other side over. What do all these do? Oh, it's those. All right. But yeah, the general vibe of this thing's feeling pretty cool. That's a bit off. I might do something. Oh, so this line's also a bit off. But yeah, it doesn't have to be perfect, honestly. I could be overthinking this a bit. As long as it fits in 3D, people usually won't notice. I would usually encourage people don't present on top of their concept because you can just pixel fog it. It's just not worth it most of the time. If you put the concept in the same angle, no one will tell the difference. You can have n-gons and high poly. VFX, no. Games, you can. The shading of this is weird because it feels like it should be out on an angle here, but then you wouldn't have this bit on an angle because this wouldn't make sense. So this, in theory, should be flat, but then this is on an angle. So this is this is our job a lot of the time, is figuring out these sorts of things like this because it shouldn't do what it's doing, but it is doing it. So we've got to figure out a nice middle ground of how to translate this stuff. Having worked in both VFX and games so far, is there one you prefer from a fun work for also money? Well, games pays way more than VFX. So that's one straight thing out of the gate. Games, I mean, for me, it depends as well. So for me, I actually don't really care about movies. I've never really cared about movies. I just liked working in VFX because I didn't have to worry about crazy game poly count. Oh, is this a highlight here? No, that can't be right. That's weird. But yeah, I don't actually like watching movies. I play games and watch anime. So I don't actually care about working on movies. But being at Blizzard is cool because I play Blizzard games, right? So I feel much more invested interest in the company itself. So it also depends on what you're interested in, right? I'm enjoying where I am at the moment. I'm in the cinematic team, but I'm also used for games. So I'm kind of like getting to do best of both worlds, if that makes sense. But you know, Blizzard Cinematic Team is peak, so that's also another good thing, right? That change is different. Is there meant to be that? You wouldn't have a highlight change like this though, because this would be bizarre. If you're the driver and there's this plane change here, you'd have your vision kind of partially obscured in a way that wouldn't make sense. So I might have to ignore this highlight across here. But this won't work in 3D. Yeah, that's pretty normal. But you know, that's our job, right? Would most people at Blizzard also play their games, or are there people who have zero BG in any of their IPs? Funny enough, most of the cinematic people don't really play Blizzard games. But because most of the people on the cinematic team they have like families and stuff like that and don't really play many games to begin with. But I think the game teams themselves play a lot of the games. Because also keep in mind, the cinematic people are VFX artists. So it is also partially different. And yeah, alter this again. But yeah, the cinematic artists are like easily some of the best artists I've worked with. Any games I've been playing recently? I've been playing through Cyberpunk again. Because okay, get this. Like people, I'm not sure what people are going to think about my opinion of this, but I saw Witcher 3 was like $10 for like everything. I was like, hell yeah, I've heard this game is a masterpiece. I'm going to play The Witcher 3. I couldn't stand it and I dropped the game. I gave it a solid attempt, but like the combat just fucking killed me. I was like, this is because I played Cyberpunk for like, I played it a lot. So my expectations of polish, I mean, obviously Cyberpunk came out pretty badly, but my expectations of CD Projekt Red was like pretty high. And the combat of The Witcher felt awful to the point that I didn't really want to play it anymore, even though I know the story is meant to be worth it. So I just dropped The Witcher 3. The combat in The Witcher is very boring. Yeah, it wasn't just boring, it just felt really floaty and unpolished. And to the point that I'm like, I kind of just dreaded the combat, and I was like, I don't really want to play a game. I dread the gameplay, even though I know the story is meant to be amazing. So I just dropped The Witcher, and The Witcher just made me start another Cyberpunk file. So I just made like my 4th Cyberpunk character, and I've been playing Cyberpunk instead. To be fair, I kind of get it. I love The Witcher 3. Similarly played Elden Ring for 4 hours, stopped. I just can't play it. Yeah. Any melee combat you like is the Dark Souls games. It's an old game for sure. I think that's my problem, right? If like the current state of Cyberpunk just has such a high level of polish, and I think I got spoiled by playing so much Cyberpunk. If I had played The Witcher 3 first, I probably would be. I think it's just because, you know, I have such respect for CD Projekt Red that I kind of just expected the combat would be flawless. And to me, the combat was like the worst part of the game. But yeah, maybe one day I'll go back and give it a chance. But for now, I'm just not really feeling it. You're more hype for Cyberpunk 2? Yeah. Cyberpunk 2 would be. My only fear with Cyberpunk 2 is it's not made by the original team. It's made by a new American studio. So I hope it's good. Because Cyberpunk is one of my favorite games of all time. I also played a bit of, obviously, you know, Expedition 33. That game is an absolute masterpiece, in my opinion. But, you know, everyone's played it, you know, Expedition 33 at this point. I was the same with The Last of Us. Mates saying it's a masterpiece. The mechanics gameplay just doesn't give me it at all. Yeah, that's fair. What about Elder Scrolls? Yo, actually, you just reminded me. I came across this YouTube channel which I fucking love now. It's so absurd. Um, so the YouTube channel is called. Let me just bring it up. Actually, that might be a. I'll just show you it. So it's a YouTube channel called Any Austin, and for some reason, this just like appeared. I mean, oh, not for some reason. It just came up in the YouTube page or whatever. And he does the funniest videos. Let me just show. So what he does is he does like videos where he goes into like games and kind of analyzes the game world as how it would be. You know, like for example, he'll check that the rivers are flowing in the correct way. He'll do a video on like, do the power lines actually go anywhere? Like he'll check the unemployment rate of like Skyrim towns and shit like that. Have you seen this dude, Crimson? I love his videos, man. But like my favorite, so the one I saw was like that popped up because I've been, you know, obviously everything's fucking being watched. So I was playing Cyberpunk and the Cyberpunk recommendations started popping up. And he did this 40-minute video of him living in the Cyberpunk world as a regular person. And he streamed the whole process. So it was 21 hours living a week as a regular person in Cyberpunk. Like he had to pretend to go to work and shit like that. And you could see his like mental state just deteriorate while doing it. The Skyrim Trees one? Yeah, Skyrim Tree one's good. The fact that you got the is it Todd Howard? Is it who's the Bethesda guy? He got him involved as well. Finding a job in the Fallout 3 economy. Yeah, he does lots of great videos. I highly recommend this channel to anyone that wants to like watch really random videos. Like he like he checks the traffic signs in GTA 5 to see if they're up to code for like, you know, California laws and stuff like that. It's so good. Like he checks where's the he did one where like when you dismiss a Fallout companion, like where do they go? And he would just like follow them and see what happens to them, like shit like that. I highly recommend this channel. It's super good. So it's called Any Austin. When he talks about a specific level on a Call of Duty, it's pretty dope. Yeah, it's kind of funny because it's like it's it's cool that someone goes to the effort of checking this stuff. So every time like GTA gets what's it called? It gets delayed, everyone always blames him because he overanalyzed everything. But yeah, I highly recommend the Cyberpunk one. Like you can see because he has to like for 21 days or 21 hours straight, he has to pretend to be an NPC in Cyberpunk. And you can just see him like dread life and like his mentality like deteriorates over time. It's very, very interesting. Now you have a whole collection of videos to watch while you model. Yeah, totally. And he has this like super like deadpan sort of attitude as well. So it's like it's very fitting. But yeah, I put his videos on the side while working. It's pretty fun. What if you were to check my 3D models and see the wires? He actually does that shit. I mean, not me personally, obviously. I've never worked on a game. But
Like, yeah, he'll go to like the power stations in GTA 5 and check if they're up to code and like if they're going in the correct way and if they're connected to anything. It's crazy. It's looking kind of cool. All right, it is bothering me it's sitting on the floor though. So let's grab everything into a group and let's move it up above the floor. So because I put the camera in the group, the camera will still stay lined up. But I just want to have it above the floor. Oh, what's that? Oh no, that's not too like that. Yeah, so far it's feeling pretty decent. For a few hours of blocking, it's not bad. Yeah, happy New Year. Yeah, we're back to streaming again. I'll at the very least I'll do Sundays consistently. I'm not sure about what my time will be like during the week, but you know, with this sort of project as well, I don't really have anything to gain doing it in my own time. So I'm also just going to make sure I stream the whole process. So we'll have like a backlog of how to do the entire vehicle. So that would be cool. Let's add some color. Why not? Standard surface. I do like to work in color, just because it makes life a bit more interesting. All right. Can I? Oh, there's a picker. Where's the neutral color? I guess this is the neutral color. Let's see. And then the back is like orange, right? It can also help like do... Oh shit, let's get rid of this. It can also help like with blocking if you have different color. Damn, I shouldn't have done that. I have to leave that together now. Like what if we could, if you really want to do, let's do like a copy of this one. We'll get this off. Delete that. And then we can do this plus this. Yeah, there's all these different tricks you can use. Whatever helps you get the job done. So we can have like a temp proxy window if we want. Like this isn't the actual window, but you know, we can at least kind of get an idea of what the window will look like. And then we cut that over here. Oh, we need to pop it out a little bit. But yeah, so if you want to see what your window will actually look like, you don't always have to model it in. You can always do like temp stuff like this, just to kind of get an idea of how things are lining up with the concept. Maybe we'll do the front window as well. So it's up here. Oh. Wait, there's that. Oh, it's there. Okay. But yeah, a lot of the time I like to do stuff like this because it kind of gives you a bit of a slight confidence boost in things are actually working. What color is this one? It's just sans serif 4, I guess. Yeah, so we can get a quick idea of how things look before we even model in a window. Still doing tricking? Yeah, I still do tricking. Cool flips and shit. But yeah, we got 10 more minutes. I'll probably bounce in a bit. I'm getting kind of hungry. Did I do anything in Blender recently? Hell no. No, I don't think I'll probably use Blender, honestly. I wonder what we're going to do in here. This will be interesting. Oh, we lost our little shadows. They can also be this color. I also usually try and avoid creating new geo if I can. I usually just duplicate something else. Instead of having to like create a cube and move it up, we can just duplicate this and do whatever. There's like an orange thing here, right? Oh, there's a little slot here I can make as well. But yeah, for blocking for the first few hours, it's not too bad. We need to fix some stuff up a bit, but I think for a first pass, it's not bad. Yeah, it's good to see everyone else again. I'm glad people still want to tune into the stream, even though I haven't been here for like a long time. How's life at Blizzard? Am I happy? Yeah, I'm pretty happy at Blizzard. Blizzard's been really good. They've been treating me really well there. I like my team. I like the people I work with. Everyone's super cool. I've had a great time at Blizzard so far. Is this the guy who can analyze horrible construction standards? Nah, I didn't know that. I didn't. No, it's not that guy. But I didn't know there was another one who did that. That's pretty funny. But yeah, I'll probably bounce in a few minutes. It's cool that everyone wants to come back. So yeah, I'll do the whole process of this on stream, so don't worry. I'm not gonna do any of this in my own time. I'm mostly doing this purely for fun and because I'm sure other people would like to learn from the process. It's not necessarily something I'm gonna do myself. Once we get the body sorted, then we get to do the exciting stuff of figuring out how the door is going to function. That would be pretty cool. Yeah. Cheers, man. I appreciate it. But yeah, next Sunday, same time. I meant to start at 12, but I started at 1. But whatever, it's all the same thing. Yeah, next time, same time on Sunday. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. I greatly appreciate it. It's good to see you all again. A lot of familiar faces. Well, familiar names, I guess, which is good. Yeah, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I will catch you all later. All right, see ya. Bye.